Hey everyone, John from Trizity Traveling, coming to you from the home office today. And let's see, it's March 29th. I have to do myself a little favor and congratulate my favorite baseball team, Seattle Mariners. Grew up as a Mariner fan, and they have started the season 3-0. I don't think it's going to last, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Looks like a rebuilding year, but we'll see what happens. You never know in baseball. This is the season of optimism in March and April. But what I'm here today to tell you about is today's trip report. While I was in Atlanta last month, I guess at the end of last month, I decided to do a points run, milk run as I call it, from Atlanta, and I chose Washington, D.C. I'd never been to Washington, D.C., never been to the airport there, so figured why not? That's a good place to start. Fit it in after my work was done and before Matt was off work, so kind of squeezed this trip in there. I hope you enjoy it. This is a Delta A321. This is the second time I've been on the A321, and some of you have asked questions over the years about airplane preferences and things like that. If I'm on a single aisle aircraft, I really prefer the Airbus A320 series. The A321 is included in that in my mind. They are actually a little bit wider in the fuselage, which makes it a little bit more comfortable for passengers, in my opinion. I'm not going to get into what's better, Airbus or Boeing. As I said, today's trip, Atlanta to Washington, D.C., A321. I am in Comfort Plus on this leg. Coming back to Atlanta, I did upgrade to first class. So, without further interruption, here is the trip to Washington, D.C. I hope you enjoy. Oh, I forgot something. Please, if you have an opportunity, my website has been upgraded, I hope. I will be including with the posting of the trip reports a kind of written description of what's been going on with that particular trip. Maybe some little notes and nuggets from the trip that I wouldn't be including in the trip report itself. So I'll put the link here. You can find it at trizitytraveling.com. Hope you'll check it out. And now, without further interruption, let's check out the trip report. Today's trip started with a drop-off from the hotel on the north side. Drop-off under the new awning. And as I cleared security, you have the opportunity to pay respects to Maynard and Hartsfield. Since it is early morning and I didn't eat breakfast at the hotel, I decided to check out the SkyClub. My departure is from the T gates.
Going up, third floor.
T is in Tom, so this is the first time I've been to the SkyClub in the T gates. This is near T6, if you are interested. It appears to be recently renovated. It's in the style of some of the others that I've been to that have been renovated, so it's very, very nice and fresh. The club itself is sectioned into multiple groups. TV area, eating area, some tables and quiet area. Pre-made coffee bar, tea and juices, the yummy gluten section. Oh, I wish. Bagel looks really good. Fruit and hard-boiled eggs and stuff like that. And down here is the list of gluten-free items. Thank you, Delta. Appreciate that. Grab myself a banana. Some scrambled eggs. And some orange juice. The yellow breakfast, I would call this. Headed down to the T gates. We're departing at a T2. Terminal had gotten a little bit busier. Little side note, little trivia for you. If you watch Matt Cochran's videos, my friend Matt, he refers to the Wall of Doom. T1 and T2 are technically inside the Wall of Doom. 30 minutes to departure. As I mentioned in the intro, this is an A321. I'm in Comfort Plus this morning. There's the Comfort Plus seat. I was in the row behind that, and I had the window, of course. Always pre-book, then you get a window. I hope you'll take the opportunity to check out my Instagram. I post pictures and clips from my trips, live stories while traveling. One interesting feature I've had on recent flights is the ability to start my movie in the in-flight entertainment while we're still on ground. Pretty nice feature on a very short flight. And a quick taxi down to one of the runways. A quick taxi down to our departure. We got to cut in front of a lot of airplanes. We are departing from the east to the west this morning, and we'll loop around the airport to head northeast toward Washington, D.C. I believe this is runway 27. I'll have to double check that. I might be wrong. If I am wrong, I probably won't go back and fix it. So if I am wrong, I apologize, but I think this is 27. I think it's 9 and 27. Here we go, best part of every flight, takeoff thrust. Cargo 747 landing down south. Can't tell if that's China Airlines or the CAL cargo. And as was the case with my flight to Atlanta, lots of clouds. Hoping for good views on the way up the East Coast and into Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, that was not the case today, but ultimately I got points, I got miles, I got segments, which is not a bad thing. And I got to fly, which is even better. "55 minutes to DC after takeoff. Snack time, more orange juice and snack mix. Light jump and nothing to see." There were a few breaks in the layers of clouds, so you could see a little bit of blue sky, but really nothing on the ground. Didn't see any other traffic. Already descending into Washington, D.C.
Ladies and gentlemen, to prepare for landing, please bring all seatbelts and tray tables to their upright and locked positions. Restow any carry-on items that you may have brought out during our flight, and recheck the security of your seatbelt. Laptop computers must be turned off and stowed at this time, either underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin one last time, picking up all remaining service items along with any newspapers, magazines, or trash that you wish to discard. They then must be seated for the remainder of our flight. Thank you. We'll be on the ground shortly.
In between layers, and we'll be breaking through, and you'll be able to see what I believe is Virginia on the west side of the Potomac. Maybe Joey can tell me what some of these buildings are if he's watching. He hangs out at Dulles more than DCA, I believe, but maybe he knows what some of these are. That'd be Alexandria, Virginia? I have no idea. I'll have to look at a map. See, I should have done that before, and I didn't. I feel like I'm letting you down. Lots of water, and bang, there's the airport. We were delayed leaving Atlanta this morning due to snow in the DC area. DCA, Washington National, Regan National, doesn't have a lot of ground storage space, so we were held in Atlanta while they were de-icing to get planes out of DC. So we were a little bit late, which is kind of a bummer because I was going to spend a leisurely time at the SkyClub here in Washington, DC, have lunch, look around the airport a little bit. Didn't have much of an opportunity to actually do that, however.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Delta's pleasure to welcome you to Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport. The local time is 10:31. Please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until we have come to a complete stop at the gate and the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that time, it will be safe for you to move into the aisle to collect any personal items that you may have brought on board. Please use caution if you do open the overhead bins. Items tend to shift upon landing. If you need information here with ground transportation, baggage claim, or additional flight information, there will be a uniformed Delta representative greeting our flight who will be happy to assist you. You may now use your cell phones and our handheld.
I had an interesting pair of single-serving friends on this flight, an older gentleman and a younger lady. I had the impression at the beginning of the flight that they were related somehow, but as their discussion went on through the flight, I think they probably just met in the boarding area before the flight. He had asked to sit next to her, asked some people to move so they could talk throughout the flight. Got the clear impression she wasn't as engaged in the chat as he was. It was kind of awkward, to be honest. Got a quick view of the Capitol Dome.
That's the one thing, that's the one person they know in life.
As we pull in, there's some of the de-icing I was discussing going on. There's the bell. 1 hour and 15 minutes from Atlanta to Washington, D.C. This was an Airbus A321. Big fan of the Airbus A321 as a passenger. As always, I hope you'll check out my channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. The reminder bell, you will be notified of new content when it is uploaded and published. Thanks for watching and happy travels.